Okay, page 219 of A Dream of Red Mansions. Jia Zheng was still in mourning for the Lady Dowager, so was staying in the outer study. He was visited there one day. By Zhen Yingjia, who told Jia Zheng that the emperor had reinstated him to his former position and given him back his hereditary title, so he was on his way back to the capital. Zhen Yingjia continued that he had heard about the Lady Dowager's death on his way, so had stopped by to pay his respect at her shrine. Jia Lian and Baoyu waited outside Jia Zheng's room and came forward to greet Zhen Yingjia as he left. Yet Zhen Yingjia was shocked when he saw Baoyu. "I cannot believe my eyes," he said. "Many people have told me that you had a son called Baoyu who was born with a piece of jade in his mouth, and I had always remembered this because it has so happened that my son is also called Baoyu. However, I never thought that the two Baoyu would look so similar and behave in the same way. This truly is unbelievable." Page 220. So it was that Lady Zheng arrived at the mansion a few days later, bringing her son Zhen Baoyu along with her. Jia Baoyu had been yearning to meet the other Baoyu, hoping that they would indeed be similar and would be able to share their deepest feelings. However, he was soon disappointed as he found they could not see eye to eye with each other. Jia Baoyu returned to his room feeling low and dejected, and soon slipped back into his former depression and illness. After a couple of days, he began to refuse all food offered to him, and when he fell unconscious, the whole family began to worry about him. They resigned themselves to preparing to administer the last rites should his health get any worse. When everyone had all but given up hope, a monk arrived at the door carrying a piece of jade and saying he had come to claim the reward. He pushed past the servants on duty and made his way to Baoyu's room, where he placed the piece of jade in Baoyu's hand. As soon as he had done so, Baoyu opened his eyes and stared at the jade. "I cannot believe it," he said. "I have gotten it back at last." Just as everyone was beginning to celebrate, however, Baoyu suddenly fainted. Baoyu's spirit flew from his body and followed the monk to the distant place with an archway with an archway that Baoyu recognized well. So Baoyu recovered, but Baoyu followed him to an archway. Page 221. After Baoyu's spirit followed the monk under the archway, they reached a large palace. Baoyu summoned all his courage and stepped inside to see a number of large cabinets. It was then that he remembered his dream of meeting a goddess in this exact place and felt happy that he was somewhere familiar. In the first cabinet, he searched through the list of all the beautiful women in Jinling. After finishing this list, he sighed and reached for the next. He soon found what he was looking for, picture of several beautiful women who resembled Qingwen, Baoyu, Xifeng, Yuanyang, Madame Qin, and third sister Yu. At that moment, a number of guards wearing yellow turban appeared and began to chase Baoyu while cracking their fearsome whips. Baoyu searched for an exit, but then spotted a number of young women approaching, one of whom resembled Yingchun. However, as they got closer, the women changed into demons and also began to chase him. Baoyu was becoming frantic when he saw the monk again, who shouted to him to go back. Baoyu closed his eyes and felt himself falling. When he opened his eyes again, he found himself back in his own bed. Looking up at the tear-stained faces of Madame Wang, Baoyu, and his other close relatives. Baoyu must be having a bad dream, and all these ladies becomes demon, and he was tortured, punished. Page 220. Once Baoyu had completely recovered, Jia Zheng found he had little to do, so turned his attention to the Lady Dowager's coffin, which he decided to take down south to bury. He then summoned Jia Lian to discuss this decision. Jia Lian agreed that it was a good idea, but pointed out that transporting the coffin all the way would cost a huge amount of money, which they did not have. So Jia Lian suggested that they mortgage some of the property, then redeem them when Jia Zheng was reappointed. Before Jia Zheng set off on his journey, he said to Jia Lian, "Remember that this is the year of the Imperial Civil Service examination. Huan will not be allowed to take them as he is mourning for his mother. Yet Lan, Yet Lan, who is only a grandson, and Baoyu are able to make sure that they go to the examinations. For if one of them is successful, then our family may regain some of its lost glory. Jia Lian and the boys assented. Jia Zheng then boarded his boat, waved off a few close members of his family. So Jia Zheng went to the capital to do his duty, and he told Jia Lian, take imperial examination, and if we get good luck, if someone passed, our family may be able to see hope again.